Good evening and welcome to the Trav Podcast, episode 17.
Whoop, whoop.
I had to do a little TM before tonight. Trav was on a rage.
Oh, yeah. And by TM, he means
Transcendental meditation.
Right.
Had to come down a little bit.
I'll tell the story. So Trav has had a rough day at work, which is like not shocking. It's like every day.
A lot of things happen in a day. That's all. A lot of things.
So we order fish fries and we're like sitting down to a nice meal and we're eating. And he I don't even know what you went to grab. And he knocks
I went
over.
to grab the drink, I think, to like move it or something.
Yeah, and he knocked it over. And it
the growler.
Like,
and it hit the cup behind
still
it.
like
That's what the
half
problem. I
full
didn't see
or
the cup
whatever.
behind it. And the growler was there, so I went to pick it up to move it. And when I pushed it, the cup went forward.
Right. And then...
And that was the beginning of the end.
It spilled all over like a book. It was like on the wall. It was on the floor. It was on my purse. It was like everywhere. Like, and it was like only like, I don't even know. Your glass was like still half full after you.
Yeah. And I don't know how it went everywhere. Like I said, yeah, it was half full.
Mind you, I don't even think like you had a sip of it yet.
No.
So it's not like he was drunk being like, oh, I don't know where everything is.
I just got a big wingspan. Like, look how long these.
He's like a
arms
bull in
are.
a china shop.
And usually I'm all right, but like I need like a good 30, 40 minutes to come down after work just because I'm like high energy all day, just losing my mind, trying to get like everything done because we're short hours. So like we just got to combine everything in like a short period and get everything done quicker now. So which is fine, but like I didn't have time to like come down out of that. So I was still like real high energy when I got home and then like sat down to eat and then, yeah, just spilled it. Like within 10 minutes of being home.
You screamed like
it.
very, very, very loud.
I did get a little,
and I was just like.
A little loud. Not at you, though, just like in general.
No, yeah. And I'm like, you know what? When he gets like that, I'm just not going to say anything. Because if I say, oh, Trev, come down here, you're going to be like, God, rest. I just need to like just let me fucking be pissed. Let me just be fucking pissed for a minute.
So then I came down, though. And I was like, I just needed TM, Transcendental Meditate. And I just did a couple really long breaths out.
I'm like,
and then I held it like that. And then just release. And it feels great. Just got to like.
And then we ate our shit.
And then everything was fine. Everything was great. So there you go.
You did continue to like talk some shit though.
A little
not
bit.
To me,
yeah.
just like in
just
general.
like to the air. I talk shit to the air when I'm mad. It happens. But yeah, so that's how my evening started. But now we're here, so I'm really happy about that.
You do spill drinks a lot.
I do, yeah. I think it's just like my hands and my arms. Like,
you're
not
a bull
aware.
in a china shop.
Like I'm good till about here. If my arms could have stopped here, I would have been golden. But since I got this,
he like never uses the coasters on my table, and then when he does, he always spills the drink. He's like, see. These fucking coasters, I set it down and I missed the fucking coaster and I shit everywhere.
That was another one. I spilled the chocolate milk on the couch. Lost it. Alice in Wonderland night had like the coaster right here. Like say that's the coaster, and I like was right here on it, and it just went backward.
It was hot chocolate, right?
Hot chocolate. Yeah, I was pissed.
Yeah.
Pissed about that. Pissed about that one too.
I spilled the mimosa a couple weeks prior. Remember? Because I set it and I like hit it, but it was those wine glasses, and we never use those wine glasses. We always use the stemless ones.
Yeah, it's the awareness.
Just the tall ones, they're very thin. You just like one little tap and it's gone.
Smoked.
I'm surprised it didn't break.
Yeah, but
I was pissed because I wanted that mimosa. We didn't have more champagne left.
Gone.
Yep.
So spilling drinks is just not a great thing. Generally,
we've done a lot of that in this quarantine.
We have, a lot of that. A lot of drinks going down.
I can't stop yawning. I'm tired. Work one
Come
day a
down
week.
Friday.
One day a week. My first day back, and I'm exhausted.
Yeah, and we're kind of trying to go the opposite direction because we were dressing up for, what was it? Just kind of like, because it was happenstance. We had the draft for NFL, and then we had Cinco de Mayo like the very next week.
Yeah.
So we're trying to not get too nutty
we were
with
doing
the whole
like
dress
themes.
up thing.
We were doing like, we did formal Friday, flannel Friday, just Cinco de Mayo drafting.
Yeah.
But it's like, how many themes could we possibly have? I mean, we'll keep the themes for the,
Plus,
there's
we're not
actually
gonna,
a theme.
Yeah, we're not here like a circus, though. We're not just going to like juggling and holding, like what?
Yeah, so we're just casual tonight.
Yeah, so we're pulling it back in.
Trav's wearing
a
hat because his head is like peeling like crazy.
Yeah, if you want to see it. Yeah, I went golfing Saturday, Sunday, so I had it tonight.
Probably mainly Sunday. The back of my neck is disgusting.
It's been bad.
It's like raw. It's peeling and it hurts. It's been hurting for a week now.
Yeah,
basically.
Well, like I said, just gotta lotion it up. It'll
Peel
heal
the skin
over.
off the back of my neck for me later.
Fire. It's that base tan though, so first time's always the worst. I'll be good for like the rest of the summer now. So
we went on a cruise in February. I was like, we should have got a base.
Yeah, but it's been like 2 months, and now it's snowing again.
I didn't even burn that
tonight.
Bad on the boat.
This weather's trash.
I can't even go like this on my neck. Oh,
yeah,
it hurts, and it is. It's
like we literally golfed on Sunday, and it was 60. And now it's
it was,
days later, and it's 30 and snowing.
Probably close to 70 on Sunday.
Yeah, like I said, it was beautiful. It was beautiful days.
We got sunburns.
2 beautiful days in a row, which is like
fried.
a miracle in upstate.
Absolutely fried, and now it's snowing.
Now it's trash again.
On. Had to put the
Upstate,
heat on in the car, heated seats, heated wheel, everything.
See, it also. I think maybe it was the snow that did it today because I walked out of the dealership today, and as soon as I opened the door and I saw snow, that was like the beginning of the downward spiral.
Like
yeah, I was just like, and now it's snowing.
Well, because when I left for work too, it was not like it wasn't. It was like 45 and sunny. It was actually like a decent day. Then it got windy, cold. Like when I left work, I'm like, it's winter. This is winter.
Yeah, no, it is. I was like, I had a hoodie on, and I'm like, now I got to put on like snow boots. I got to put the broom back in the car. Like it's May, people. It's the middle of May. For God's sakes.
Exactly.
Just let summer happen.
2 days ago, I mowed the lawn. Now I'm freaking shoveling. Yeah. Well, not really. Let's not be dramatic, but it's still cold.
Not yet. We're getting it.
We're in flip-flops and shorts, and now I'm wearing a winter coat again. Sick of it.
God. In other fun news, changing gears here. My goddaughter's birthday is next week. I'm not going to say a date in case there's crazy stalkers out there. But she wants this thing, right? Which I don't know anything about kids. I'm ignorant, so she has this American Girl doll. I don't know if you know anything about that, but they're like 4 foot tall or so, 18 inch American doll. And I was gonna get her clothes because she wants clothes for it, and she wanted those sleeper things. What are they called? The sleeper.
She wanted sleep mask.
Sleep mask, yeah, because she's OG. I was like, all right,
she's like 4.
Yeah, I was like, I could see that, Mm-hmm. But so the baby doll thing, I go to look it up, and I'm like on their website. So boots. For a doll, right? It's not a real thing. Boots, what was it? Pants, a shirt, and a scarf. It was like a fall outfit. So it was like brown boots, white pants, like a yellow top, and then like a red flannel scarf. $28. I'm like, $28? The thing's not even like alive. I was like, I could get like my goddaughter like actual clothes and like good stuff for $28. I'm like, I'm not gonna spend this on a doll. But then her mother, walked me off the cliff and sent me a link, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But I don't know how these parents do it. Like, how are you buying
the American doll girls are expensive.
It's nuts.
And there's people. So there's an American
doll. And that was
doll.
4 things: shoes, pants, shirt, scarf. $28.
I mean,
it's not like 8 outfits. It's like one.
No, but
half an outfit.
In reality, you can't get a whole outfit for a toddler for $28. You can't.
Pretty close. Old Navy. I used to got a kick for like 9.
If they have a good sale, yes.
Yeah, they have like the half off, the twofers. I used to do that all the time.
Anyway. The American Girl stuff is like insane.
Yeah, no, I know.
So these things have been around for they were around when I was.
Were they? I thought it was like Cabbage Patch Kids. Wasn't that a thing when we were younger?
Yeah, and these were things.
These were still
around,
there though. Really?
These were around back then too. I don't think there was as many like varieties as there is now.
Oh yeah, see, I was.
But now they have like an American Girl store in New York, and there's people that take like their kids, like.
On shopping
to New York City, they go get an American Girl doll. They spend the whole weekend there. I mean, they're dropping probably like $800 like or more.
Those parents are the problem.
I mean, it cost us a fortune to stay in New York City for 2 nights to go see a Rangers game.
Yeah, I know. And they're buying $100
these
baby
dolls are not
outfits.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Nuts. Anyhow, that's all I had to intro. Starting off on the solid notes here.
Well, my godson's birthday is
this
Levi. Coming weekend.
Yeah. Yep.
And sure, you just name dropped
Name drop it. I didn't mean it. Sorry.
I'm not name dropping yours.
Sorry.
What if there's crazy people out there, Travis?
That's true. I feel bad about it.
Travis.
Sorry, I didn't mean it. I apologize. Just leave me in the car.
Yeah, seriously. He ruins everything.
I do. I'm the worst with secrets and stuff.
We go out one night. He sees our friend, and I'm like, we're going to Carly's surprise 30th birthday party on Friday.
Dawn.
We run into Carly like on her actual birthday on like Tuesday, and he goes, "Yeah, we'll see you Friday for your birthday party." And we're like,
we just met. I was trying to be impressive. I'm just trying to be like, hey, I'm the cool boyfriend. Hey,
I literally wanted to like murder him.
Ruined it.
Yeah.
Whatever. See what you get for being cool, kids? Everything ruined. Trashed.
So rude. And then he's like, oh, like you just don't remember anyone's name.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Carly? That's who you were talking about? Now I think you know who Carly is, but still.
We got Alina and Elena. Always ruin my day.
Oh, yeah.
Because I just say yes. Whoever. Okay.
Well, yeah, there was like...
Great story.
That's hard for everybody. Even my parents were like, I was talking about...
I just think they're the same person now.
Yeah, well, one time I was like, oh, Alina is in Mexico this week. And my dad was like, what the hell is Elena doing in Mexico? She's pregnant. And I'm like, no, Alina. So that's how I have to say it. I go, Alina or Elena.
Yeah. I just know I have friends with the same name in the beginning.
Well, that's why now
because I care about you.
Every time I talk about Elena, I say my cousin Elena.
Right.
Because if I preface it with my cousin, then you know who I'm talking about.
Definitely helps.
And I think even still, you get
I just kind of
confused.
go with it either way. Yeah, I just, whatever you want to do.
Anyway, I did not have to get doll clothes. I got kinetic sand, so that was very exciting to buy.
Yeah, kinetic sand's awesome for kids. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't get messy in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Parents appreciate
really
that.
messy,
No, and it like sticks. It's the whole
point.
point.
You said it doesn't get
messy. Yeah, it doesn't.
In
so it sticks together. It doesn't make a mess.
Yep.
Parents are like, oh, throw it back in the baggie. Everything's great.
Done.
At least in my mind, that's how it works.
Yep.
Because I don't have any kids, so it might be way different out there in the real life.
Well, let's just say it's not as messy.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, could definitely have the potential still. I'm sure, but yeah.
What's next on our list here?
Oh, next we got. We'll go real strong stuff. We went light. Now we're gonna go heavy. We got the New York cases for.
Oh yeah, so I read this article. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it because I don't remember everything the article said, but there's basically like new research saying that approximately 10,600 people had the coronavirus in New York before the confirmed case.
Right. Yeah.
So
that's a lot of people, though.
Yeah, which they've been saying too. Like they've been saying a lot of people were sick in like November, December before this whole thing was like a thing.
Right.
And they were testing negative for the flu, and people were like really sick, and they're like, "Oh, I definitely have the flu," and they're like, "Nope, you're negative for the flu. It's just a bad respiratory." So like people are saying that they probably had it, you know?
Yeah, they probably did. Like so it was like pre.
Yeah, so
disease
I know that right now you can go to Well Now Urgent Care
mm-hmm.
and get tested for antibodies just to see if you have the antibodies.
Oh, really?
And then I think Rite Aid, like the one next to me, at work or whatever.
They got the tents, right?
Yes, they do the testing, the drive-through testing, which they said next week they're opening it up to anyone who wants to get tested, whether you have symptoms or not. Because like right now, you have to have like a note from your doctor. You have to have at least some symptoms. I think you have to make some kind of a heads up type thing. Like you can't just drive in and be like, test me. But like as of next week, I guess you can.
They're gonna, yeah.
But I think that's also kind of part of the whole like phase.
Thing.
Yeah, they need to be.
So.
They
I
need
want
to
get everybody back to work.
Yeah,
I'm kind of sick of it.
Mm-hmm. They need to expand the testing. That's part of like the criteria.
Yeah. Well, like I was talking to Riss about it today, and like you can see it with like work though, like especially in the business I'm in, the industry, the car business. Like we were trying to like sell a car today for like $5,000, and it was like a cash deal. So like we're not even selling cars at like any sort of markup or anything like that. We're just trying to get rid of them because we've had them for so long. And people are like, "Oh, we want this," and it's like, no, we're already taking a loss on it as it is. We're just trying to get rid of the car. So it's just, but you see it, like I said, like last month we were kind of at the end, it was getting there, but now like you really see like how much like people are getting impacted by it and not being able to like afford stuff. So it's like
it's not really even just that. Sometimes it's like the mental, like
the mental part.
I
want to
just do things. I don't want this anymore.
Yeah, like I want to be able to go for a run outside without getting judged for it.
Yeah, or just like have friends
like,
over.
Oh, he doesn't have a mask on and he's running alone. Whatever.
Yeah, like have friends over and not have everyone be like, "Oh my God, what the hell is wrong with you? You have a friend over?"
Yeah, you bastards. You don't care about society and the wellness of others. Not true.
I mean, the thing is like, okay, I've seen my dad. I don't care. Okay, everyone could like come at me for it. Like he lives alone.
Right.
I'm not gonna let the freaking guy sit there and get all like depressed or something sitting there with the dog. Like it's bad enough that he lives alone and he's retired and like he doesn't have a whole lot to keep him occupied on a normal day.
Right.
Let alone like now he can't do anything. So it's like, no, he can come here. I'll go there. We'll hang out. We go for walks. Like he helps us out.
And I'm gonna steal a Joe Rogan line because I was watching him and Elon Musk last night, but not to make light of the people that actually did die from the disease. Like we get that it's actually happening. We're not idiots. But like we're also like contained, and we're not just like we're not going out and doing excessive stuff either. Obviously, so we're doing our part as best we can to like live safe.
Yeah, we're not being like idiots.
Like, we're not trying to go out and like run into 80-year-olds. Okay, like no, it's not what we're trying to do.
But I just like I'm not going to sit home and like not see my dad.
Right.
But which is so funny that like all of a sudden like he didn't want to hang out with us, hang out with us on Easter.
You guys are going to work. I can't see you.
And now all of a sudden he's like fine.
Yeah. But I think it's getting at a point though. Like we have to reopen.
Yeah.
Like we have to.
Yeah.
People need to like live and like go back to work because I said like they were saying last night in the thing we were watching.
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we're gonna go over it, but just like industries are struggling, like if there's no one producing anything, then there's nothing to buy after a while. Like, it's just, there's nothing there because no one's producing it. So it's
we'll
just
get
logic.
into that when we go over the Joe Rogan Elon Musk podcast review in a little while.
Yeah.
But funny work story, quick too. So like. We kind of go outside and we see what people need so they don't just come in the store because as much as like there's, stuff going on, people don't respect like things, like two funny work stories. This one guy comes in, pays his bill, he's got a mask on.
Right.
He comes up to the counter. We have two like plexiglass partitions. He stands in between them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He takes off his mask and he says, "Hey, how much are those beets over there?" We're like, "Can you please put your mask back?" Now I know it's like,
what are you doing?
We get it. Like, I'm trying. We like because it's tough because in one sentence we're like, "Screw this, we need to reopen," and then one sentence we're like, "What do you mean you're not wearing your mask?" But it's just like it's the stupidity like that.
It's it's what the driving factor behind it.
Like
is,
if we have to reopen and we just have to wear masks, like fine.
Yeah.
But could we get back to like at least like some normalcy, like maybe start reopening, but just with cautions. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. Be precautionary. Try to be smart.
We
6 feet.
like
the whole
people
nine,
installed
whatever.
like the plexiglass things, like whatever. I mean, it's funny because like now at work we're doing like this whole touchless thing.
Mm.
So we're not like taking cash or anything, but it's like this is stuff we probably shouldn't have been doing for years because money is like the most disgusting thing ever, especially during flu season.
Yeah. No,
I mean, how many people come in to work like before and they're sicker than a dog, but they're like, need a new phone, gotta come in. Like it never crossed anyone's mind before. Now all of a sudden everyone's like, "Oh, I'm sniffling. I can't leave the house." I try to be like whatever. Which I guess maybe this needed to happen to get people back in like
it's
the
a good
respectful
thing, I think.
like people walking around, they're coughing all over the place. They're not, they're not washing their hands. They're not covering their mouths. Like people are disgusting.
Yeah, for the most part.
And then the other funny thing is that we go outside to like see what they need because a lot of people like are coming to the store for things we can't even like really assist them with. So then we do the best we can to help them like without having them come in and like just put their stuff everywhere. Because like right now we're still trying to sanitize things and like we still are on the pause thing. We have to do this gradually. So they come in, they're not like they're like, "Oh, we have markers in the store. We have this, we have that." But it's like nobody follows those guidelines ever.
Right, yeah.
But anyway, this lady pulls up like right in front of the store. And she is like an older lady and she has her window rolled down. Mm-hmm. So my coworker goes out and helps this other person. And then he's like, "Oh, let me see what this person needs." And he goes up to the window and he's like, "Hey, can I help you?" She's like, "Oh, I'm just waiting to get tested over there." And he like freaked out. He's like, "Oh my God." Like
kind of give me the
run
corona.
in, like whatever,
well, that's the thing. It's
I
like
mean, she had a mask
people,
on, but it's like he's like, "Why is she parked in front of her with her window open?"
Yeah. Can't help certain people out there.
Yeah. And, I think, like, the whole thing is, like, this whole thing started because we need to, like, help our vulnerable population. We need to keep them safe.
Yeah, right.
But they're all the people out acting like idiots.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know.
This one guy came to last week or 2 weeks ago. He came to the store 4 or 5 times in the same day. And he's like, oh, this whole thing's crazy. I only have 1.5 lungs. What the frig are you doing out of the house then? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, those people put themselves at risk.
You shouldn't even be out. You shouldn't even be out during flu season.
Right. Yeah, no, you got to limit, your exposure, especially as you get older, man. Your immune system's shutting down, your life shutting down.
Well, I remember I was thinking of this the other day, a couple months ago, before any of this was even a thing. Like, coronavirus was not a thing. Right. We weren't hearing about it. This lady came into the store wearing a mask, and everyone is like, "Oh my God, what the fuck is wrong with that person? Why is she wearing a mask?" And you walk into a store with a mask on, you're like, "Am I going to get robbed?" But she was an older lady. She was with her husband, and she was like, "Oh, don't worry. Like, I'm having cancer treatments, and I'm just protecting myself."
Right, trying to be safer. Right.
But she needed a phone. Like, again, this is like normal times before this
before
pre-COVID.
It was normal. Yeah.
But it's like we're all like, "What the hell is that person wearing a mask?" And now we're like, "What the hell is that person not wearing a mask for?"
Right.
You know, and it's just like, but before I was like, why, like, you are uneasy, and then she's like, "Oh, but like, that's smart.
Yeah, no,
you're immune compromised. Right. Yeah. It's flu season. You're going into a retail store. Like, let me wear a mask to protect myself."
Makes sense.
So when people, like, that's probably what the world needed, just to get like a reality check. But most people are like,
just get a good,
still not following it.
Yeah, certain people are just, they don't care, basically. Speaking of bad stuff out there, the new murder hornets is a thing.
Oh, wait, before we get on the murder hornets.
Okay.
One more thing.
Yeah.
COVID related.
Yes.
In Pennsylvania, there was a researcher.
I forgot about that one.
There was a researcher that got murdered.
Mm-hmm.
Shot multiple times in his townhouse. I guess his doors were open, but it was like spring, so he had like the back door open, like the screen door or whatever, and shot multiple times. The guy that killed him was found in his car dead from self-inflicted gunshot wound. So it was murder-suicide.
Right.
This researcher was like making great strides for like significant findings related to coronavirus.
Right. Probably some sort of cure.
Yeah, all his
like
colleagues said he was like really close to like some groundbreaking stuff, and they were going to continue his work. And then like the one guy, like his colleague, his like main colleague, I guess, was like emailing him over the weekend about like his findings because he had made some like significant breakthroughs that week, and he like didn't answer back, and he thought it was weird because he's always like really prompt with his emails. He was working from home, and then he found out he got killed. I guess he had a wife, but she wasn't home at the time. I guess the cops said that they don't have a motive, but they don't believe it was related to his research. Yeah. And then everyone that knew him was like, well, he never like made any comments about having like feared for his life, so who knows? But it's
I still
just
think the government has crazy people they just hire for this type of shit.
And then I read like other things too, where there's like a lot of people that have like a lot of people that have been like related to the COVID like research have died.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
And not from like somebody said like 3 Russian doctors fell to their death. Okay.
God. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, there's some weird stuff going on, some backdoor.
But now everyone's getting over the coronavirus. They're like, this shit's got to end. So lo and behold.
So now,
murder hornets.
Right, yeah. So now I got murder hornets out there for those watching. I'm sure everyone's seen it. But my thing is, right, is like last week, no one even knew what they were, or that they were even a thing. And now there's all these pictures of people holding them. They're on their shirt. Like they got them in their hands.
There's videos of them killing a mouse. Who are these
people? Yeah. And they knew the whole time? What are you doing?
Well, here's the thing. These murder hornets have been around a long time. They're just not in the U.S.
Right.
But I think like people were saying though they've been in the U.S. since like December or prior. Like that was like the first sighting. Now all of a sudden like this is the first time we're hearing about it. Like people are just trying to cause mass hysteria. Yeah. Like everyone's already freaked out about coronavirus. Like jump into the next thing. Let's freak everybody out. And then the reason they're called murder hornets because everyone's freaking out is because of the way that they attack honeybee nests.
Right. Yeah.
Or hives or whatever you want to call them. So they're not just like flying around killing people. Like you can get stung by one and not die. Obviously, if you're allergic to bees, you're probably like shit out of luck here.
Yeah, it's probably an issue.
But if you get stung, they said that they do release like a toxin, so it hurts like very, very, very bad. And then like after, it's like you had the flu, like your muscles ache. Right. It's like very painful.
It's like getting like a bad
but it's not like deadly. It said unless you had multiple stings.
Yeah. Or we saw that one. Didn't you show me the video of the rat?
It was killing a mouse.
It was killing a mouse. Yeah. That was pretty nuts. Yeah. I was like, and it was one. It was just one bee.
Yeah, and I don't know what that mouse did because I guess it said like it doesn't just like attack people or sting.
Yeah,
it's like
sure
it's just like a regular bee.
Right. It's gotta be bothered.
Regular bees don't just come out and sting you unless you're in its way.
You're creating problems out there.
Yeah. So which I got stung by a bee a couple years ago and it was like so painful. I'm like, oh my God, I don't remember how bad this was.
Yeah,
it was a wasp.
Oh,
it was so bad. I'll tell you that story after. But
I hate them.
It was so I guess the way they attack the honeybee nest is like they attack the queen and like they decapitate her.
Damn,
and they do that with all the honeybees,
like
which is a problem in its own because we need honeybees to survive.
Yeah, right.
Because of the pollination and stuff. So,
so maybe we should start murdering the murder hornets.
Yeah.
Who's on board with that?
I mean, I don't know what good they do, I guess. So.
Right. I mean, they're just these big, massive bullies, so it seems.
So, like, my bee stories, I was getting lunch, and it's like years, like it's probably 6-7 years ago now. At this time, I was at a different job, and I was carrying the bag, and it was like summertime. And all of a sudden, I got this like extreme pain in my hand, and I was like, "Oh!" And I like just dropped the bag. The food was okay, and that's the most important part. The food was okay, but I looked down, and like, so the bee must have like flew in because like they leave their at the restaurant. We used to go there all the time. It's like desserts beyond the ordinary.
Right.
They're all plugged because they got good food and they have good desserts.
Yeah.
And the people that own it are great too. But anyway. They like leave their back door open, in the summer. It's like hot in there, and the bee must have flew in like in one of the bags or something, and it was like in the handle or it was in the bag. So when it was like trying to get out, it like stung me, and it stung me like right here,
right in the palm. Yeah, it's
my God, I was dying. I like run back to the office. I'm like, I just got stung by a bee. My one coworker was like, oh my God, are you allergic? Give me your hand. Let me see. She like goes and gets ice. I was like,
put like mud on it or whatever. Right?
Yeah, it was fine, but I mean like it just hurt. Like I wasn't.
Yeah, it's just like annoying.
And I was totally like. I didn't see the bee, so it was like I was like, "What is that?" Like it felt like somebody just took a needle and like stabbed my hand.
Right.
I was like, "Damn!" Totally, I was like all disoriented. It's bad.
Dizzy.
Full adult.
Oh God, what do we got next? Oh, so jumping right into more murder stuff. Well, not really. But the UFC this weekend. Who else is pumped? Actually, so a funny story about me about the UFC was that I was all excited, been excited about it, been plugging it. UFC this weekend, Tony Ferguson. Can't wait. And then I was like, wait, I always go watch it at Tony's Pizzeria, and there's no bars, bro.
Yeah.
And it's pay-per-view. So now I had to make the decision. I was like, now I got to spend either $80 or not watch it. And luckily, my boy Cody Lawson came through, and he's like, yeah, man, come over to my place. Like, we'll hook it up, whatever. So I was like, all right, cool. But yeah, so it didn't like register that. I was like, shit, we can't even go to the bar.
Yeah, we're
so
laying in
like,
bed the other
buy
night. You're all excited. He's like, oh, I'm so excited to watch it. And I'm like, where are you going to watch it? And you're like, oh, shit, the bars are closed. Like, yeah.
Yeah, because it didn't register because we haven't had UFC in like
We
forever.
haven't
So
been
I
anywhere
hadn't
in
had
3
to think about it.
months.
But now it's like, God.
Yeah.
But whatever, we'll make it happen. I'm going to watch it.
Just
so.
excited for some kind of sport, right?
Yeah, exactly. Anything. I mean, Bull's documentary is awesome, but we'll skip over that this week. I've been plugging that pretty heavy.
And then another thing we watched was that Jerry Seinfeld special.
Yeah, Jerry Seinfeld we watched. Hilarious. 23 Hours to
funny.
Kill.
Mm-hmm. Recommended. That was good. It was good.
He hasn't lost it.
It's the same. It's like watching Seinfeld.
Yeah, it's like watching his early Seinfeld, like the beginning bits. Like it's kind of like that.
Relatable.
Yeah,
I like relatable comedy.
Yeah, no, and
it was
like I
like
said, he's always. On
I thought
point.
it got a little like boring towards the end.
Yeah,
like it wasn't as funny. But it was still really good.
Yeah, well, he doesn't care. That's the thing. He was just like he was having fun at the end and just kind of like talking more or less than just doing bits.
Right.
He doesn't have to. Just Jerry Seinfeld.
Do whatever he wants, right?
But that was definitely good, and it's on Netflix, so that's definitely worth a watch.
Yep.
I do have some Netflix stuff to talk about. F is for Family. If you're a Bill Burr fan, season 1, 2, and 3 are on Netflix. Awesome, highly recommended. It's basically a cartoon about like family life, and he's like the dad, so it's super funny. He's got kids, and it's like normal everyday life stuff. So it's another disaster, but it's comical. What else? Oh, we had Steve Carrel has one also. Space Force, May 29th, coming up. So be on the lookout for that. Looks pretty funny. Yeah. He's basically like in the government, and he has like this secret thing that he's in charge of, but like he didn't want to do it, and it sounds awful. So
it's kind of like The Office.
Yeah, it's kind of like The Office, but like for space
government. Yeah.
So it should be good. Like so, that's the 29th. So keep an eye out for that. Like I said, you're not doing anything else, so definitely watch that. Oh, I got Don Shula passed away this week. NFL coach who coached the Dolphins when they won with Dan Marino in the 90s. So that was kind of sad. He had an awesome winning record. I think it was like something in the 60%. So he was an all-time winner as far as like his record goes, and also won some championships with an unbelievable Dolphin team in the 90s. So like I said, RIP to a legend there. Jumping forward, we got Elon Musk. That show we watched, like I said, with Joe Rogan last night. It was pretty good. A lot of good intel there. A lot of like data. She thinks he's weird, which he is.
Well, all right. So here's what brings us to Elon Musk. Basically, he had a baby, as everyone I'm sure
and that
knows.
was prior to the YouTube. I didn't know that happened until yesterday.
I think that's kind of why Rogan had him on, because like he's relevant.
It had to have been set up before that though, because he just had his kid like Monday or Tuesday, and then he was on the show yesterday, so it had to be.
What the hell else
preset.
is he doing?
But who knows? Yeah, it's Elon Musk.
Anyway, maybe.
So,
but yeah, he had a baby with his partner. He refers to her as his partner, Grimes, whose real name is like Claire Boucher or something. She's like a Canadian pop art, space pop or something.
Looks like Billie Eilish, basically Canada version.
Kinda. She's not. I don't know. She's weird looking, but anyway, they named the baby like X, and then it's like a symbol, like it's like an A and an E together, which I guess is pronounced Ash, and then A-12.
Right.
So then she had like broke down what it means. Mm-hmm. So she said X was the unknown variable. Mm-hmm. AE, which is Ash. She said it was the Elven spelling for love/artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't even know how those two relate.
Yeah. This is weird.
And then A-12 stands for the Archangel 12, which is the precursor to the SR-17. It's their favorite aircraft.
Right. Yep.
So I guess that the pronunciation is X-A-12.
Right.
But they also said that based on California law, they can't name their kid that like legally on a birth certificate because it can only have one of the 26 letters of the alphabet.
Right.
Can't have the A-E, you can't have the A-12, like the -12 thing. So, I mean, maybe they'll just name them like X-Ash Archangel, and then they can spell out 12, I guess.
Yeah, do the 12.
Weird. Maybe just X-Ash. I don't know. The whole thing's weird, but
that was
strange people. Yeah, I never really like did too much research on Elon Musk. I know you're a huge fan. I know what he does and everything, but like he's just weird. I think he's just like
He's just fucking smart, man.
He always when he was on the Rogan podcast.
Like, you're unrelatable when you're that smart.
He just has
what are we gonna talk about?
Yeah,
you're just boring to me.
That smirk on his face, every time Rogan was Rogan's very animated and gets excited about things, and he's just yeah.
Well, my favorite was when Rogan would ask him a question and then he'd respond, and Rogan would just be like, he'd just look like
or he'd be like, really, really, and then he's just yeah.
I think he does a good job though too, honestly, of dumbing it down is basically what he's doing. I think he does a good job of he explains it for what it is, and then he dumbs it down to normal people.
But I noticed that he only dumbs it down when Rogan's like, "What do you mean by that?"
Yeah, right.
He's not Rogan about to, or everybody else. You ask for clarification.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because it's just
But they were talking about the whole coronavirus thing, and
they addressed it.
He was saying that Elon Musk was saying there's a lot of COVID related deaths.
They had symptoms. That's a thing.
They had symptoms of the coronavirus.
So then they attribute it to the coronavirus.
Yes. So they're okay, well, somebody died of lung cancer. Well, they were well, he had shortness of breath and he had fluid in his lungs. They're coronavirus symptoms. And he's like, well, I don't know who doesn't have those symptoms when they're dying.
Right.
Who doesn't have shortness of breath? They're
it might cough a little.
Coughing or whatever. So he was just saying that we need to get better. Healthcare needs to get better at defining well, was your death actually directly related to COVID, or did you just have some symptoms of that? Which everybody has symptoms. I'm coughing in season all the time. I'm not sick. It's allergy season. It's May. Yeah, but
it's awful.
He did say too, it's the healthcare's in a tough position because
which was interesting.
If they have more, I guess deaths or people with COVID symptoms, they'll get better funding, or they don't. They could be well, look at all these people that died from it in our hospital. We don't have to fire all these doctors or furlough these doctors. So they're at the end of the day, it's kind of they're not really doing it maliciously. They're just kind of well, if we just say oh yeah, that was COVID related, then we don't have to fire half of our staff.
Right, exactly.
And it's is that really a crime? I mean, if they're
it's a moral dilemma is what it comes down
dilemma.
to. So they the administrators have to make that choice, and they're going to choose the money most likely just to keep staff employed. Plus, it helps the hospital. So it's a monetary thing more than an ethical thing. But I don't know. But it also the other end of that is the coronavirus. You can't tell what's what with it because you don't know what is actually coronavirus deaths and what's just they had a cough and lung cancer prior and then they happen to die. So they said, it's right now the data is confusing and it's not real numbers is basically what it's coming down to. So he was basically suggesting that they clean up the data and, you got to make that choice, so it's not going to be clear and concise because you have multiple, weighing factors.
Well, because it's you run into that whole thing. It's some people have it and they don't even know they have it. And then some people then it's another one too, which I had said this before. One of the biggest underlying conditions, because they say that people, a lot of people who are dying from this have some sort of underlying condition. Well, the biggest one is obesity. Right. And people don't think of that as an underlying condition. Right. They're they think of underlying conditions as well, he had a heart problem or he had a lung problem or he had COPD, he had emphysema, he had this, he had that, he had diabetes, whatever. But obesity is one of the biggest ones, and there's a lot of people in this country that are obese. Yep.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's a tough thing,
But now there's this new thing too. I just remember reading about it that there's apparently now they were saying that this wasn't really affecting children. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's not a lot of people that have children that have had COVID or whatever. Right. But now there's another COVID-related respiratory
kid virus.
Yes. No, and it's pretty serious. There was 60 kids in New York or something that had it. They were weird. Hospitalized for it. So they're
yeah, what's this now?
They might be testing negative for it, I guess. But it's but then again, is it really related or is it just another freaking respiratory illness, a totally separate one, or is it the freaking flu or
right? Is it, they're just making it up.
Is it just a respiratory? I mean, I guess anything. If you had pneumonia, then they're going to say, oh, that was COVID related. Yeah. Is it? I mean, that's the whole, brings you back to the whole thing Elon Musk was
stuck
saying.
In the middle. Yeah. Between actually having clear, concise data or keeping people employed. So one of them's going to lose, so, and most likely it's going to be the numbers are fluffed and you can't get concise data, which leads to less research and less, answers later on.
But and more hysteria.
Right. So it's a double-edged sword for sure. Another thing that Elon Musk said via Twitter was that he was, quote unquote, selling almost all his physical possessions and will own no house. And since he said that, he actually put 2 of his houses up for sale. He owns like 7, so granted. But he's actually selling 2 places in Bel Air, and one of them was Gene Wilder's house that he owns. So that's interesting to me, though, that he was just kind of like trying to get the pressure off him, I guess, is basically what he was saying. He says, once you have like a lot of money, he's like, possessions just kind of weigh it down, which is probably, true. I wouldn't know, but I'm assuming it would after a while. A lot of, tension, a lot of, exposure on you. So it could probably get pretty heavy out there. But that was interesting to me that he was like selling his stuff and just kind of like backing the other way now. He wants to focus on like basically like his Mars stuff and, just developing SpaceX and Tesla more. So, what else did I have?
He's got this whole other thing too with like he's like trying to develop like stuff that goes in your brain that would like.
Oh yeah, Neuralink.
If you,
he's another business he's doing is Neuralink.
Yeah,
and he's basically you can explain what that is.
Well, I'm not going to go into great detail, but just basically like he's developing something that you would kind of like drill a hole in your brain and put it like in your brain, like an implant almost, but it would. Like if you had Alzheimer's, it would like bring back memories, or if you had if you were blind or if you were paralyzed, like it would help you walk again or help you see again. So it's like wild stuff.
It's like a census thing, like
check it out.
Sight, eyes, hearing.
That whole podcast was pretty interesting.
Yeah, and it's only like 2 hours, so it's actually.
But it went by pretty quick though.
Yeah, and just I don't know. Elon Musk is a very like adaptive person. Like I said, he has like car industry. He does rockets. He has the Boring Company, and now he's doing Neuralink AI shit. So like the guy is just. He's very well rounded, has a lot of good information, just knows what he's talking about, and is always learning things to make society better. And now he's focused on Mars. So, I mean, he's just trying to, I don't know. He's trying to just accomplish incredible things, basically.
AI, baby.
Yeah. And he did announce the Tesla Roadster is going to be released at some point, I'm assuming this year, is kind of how he made it sound. It wasn't confirmed, so don't quote me on that because he didn't give me an actual date. But the Roadster is going to go 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds, which if anybody knows, like 3 seconds is fast as shit. 1.9 seconds is almost incomprehensible unless you're doing it, basically. So that'll be awesome. Yeah, and I'm a big fan of his stuff. Like I said, I read his book, and I've watched SpaceX, the rockets and stuff, and they throw up rockets like once a month, which is incredible if you think about like how involved the technology is and what they have to do that. So the weather has to be perfect, all this stuff has to be right.
Every time you had to write about your MBA, you always chose Tesla, didn't you?
Tesla, yeah. I actually did my whole MBA. And it wasn't like a thesis, but I did my whole MBA project on basically Tesla. And at the time, they were working on the Cybertruck. So I was actually following that data through. Like I did all their financial reporting and all that for like 3 years. And it's just a really incredible company.
I use Verizon or Apple.
Yeah, that's a good one too. The data's out there. That's the thing. You just got to be able to access the data. So
well, I already know a lot of it too. Just like without,
and you work there.
I could write about like a lot of nonsense in my paper without having to like do research.
Right, which helps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just got to get your references and whatnot.
Yep.
But that brings us to, I think that's it for that. Let me just make sure.
I think that's all our topics.
Underrated, overrated. Boom, let's run it back. We got 5 more this week. I don't know if you guys liked it or not. No one said anything, so we're just going to do it. I don't think
anyone's listening this far in to hear it.
Yeah, we got about 3 solid minutes out of people, so we're right on top of it. So right now, underrated, overrated. Number 1, Tempurpedic beds.
Overrated.
I'm going to go unknown because I don't know.
Well,
I've never laid on one. I don't really know.
I
only
chose this as a topic because when we just bought a new bed a couple weeks ago, and I like it. It's great. You like it?
Yeah, I like our bed.
It's a standard bed. It's like a Sealy. It's got like a plush pillow top on it, so it's like kind of firm, but it's also soft, which is what I like. I don't like the memory foam feel. Yeah. And everyone's like, "What? No, you have to get a Tempurpedic. Get a Tempurpedic. It'll last you 30 years." Blah blah blah. Like they're like $5,000. I'm like, first of all, I don't want to spend the money. Second of all, I don't love the way it feels. I don't love like feeling like you're sunk in and you can't like move.
Because you got to climb a mountain to get out.
So, end of the day, overrated. Actually, I think Natalie was saying she has one. And she's like, well, it's not like, oh my God, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. It's just like, she's like, it's a bed.
Right. It's a comfortable bed.
Yeah. You want a memory foam, you can get a freaking probably memory foam topper and get the same feel.
Right. Yeah, probably.
Anyway, what's the next one?
Next one. Oh, slid up. Hold on. There we go. UGG boots. Mine actually spelled UGG UGH. It autocorrected.
Ugh. That's exactly how I feel about those.
UGG boots.
Overrated.
Yeah, for sure. I used to make fun of them all the time. Actually, I went to Halloween one time as a basic chick wearing UGG boots.
Here's the thing with UGG. Okay. The full name of the brand is UGG Australia. And there's a fucking reason for that. Okay. People, you can't wear those shits in upstate New York.
Right, yeah.
I used to wear them in college, and I'm like, why am I doing this? 2 seconds outside, Feet are soaked.
Yeah.
They are not.
Yeah, you see the salt marks.
could
I used to love seeing the
waterproof
chicks with the salt marks
Yeah,
on their
the
boots. And it was
ratchet
like,
ones. Yeah. I mean,
the
for a
hell is this?
while, I was like all into it. I wanted like the one. I had like the one with the button on the side. One of them had like the UGG logo all over it. Like I wanted Uggs like every year for Christmas, but they suck. Like you need to wear Uggs in a climate that has no precipitation.
Yeah.
I don't care if you waterproof them. It doesn't work.
No, I had an XX buy me UGG slippers, and that's why she's an X now. So
stop.
Just
That's
kidding.
probably
That
the
wasn't-
only thing I would wear because you wear them inside. But I'm not spending $200
no, they were
on
comfortable, but like I
slippers.
said, yeah, if you like anything outside like boots and stuff, I don't see the point. But
They're just like I mean,
whatever.
I'm sure they do make like other whatever. It's overrated. Next,
next is getting engaged. What do you mean by that exactly? This was your topic, so I don't know what you mean exactly by that.
I think I just mean like in general. Like I would say.
Do you mean like the act of getting engaged, as far as like, will you marry me? Like what that means, or do you mean like the whole everything else around it?
I guess I just mean everything else around it, like kind of like a
setup,
gender
the
reveal.
planning,
No,
all
like
that?
just like I think. So I think like actually getting engaged. I'm not against it,
Okay.
but I think that it's overrated now, and people are doing it just because they want to like. He popped the question. I said yes.
Okay.
My
I gotcha.
best friend.
So like
I'm
the
gonna
show of engagement.
Yes.
Okay, I gotcha. So yeah, that I would say is overrated for sure.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, look at this great ring I got. Like, my best friend. I can't wait to spend forever with you. I said yes. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's like let's just get engaged so we could pick up the best like line for social media.
Right.
And
Yeah,
it's
I
like
don't know.
all my friends have done it. I'm not hating. Okay, I'm not hating. I just think like it's a little like
It's overdone.
yeah. It's like I think people
Well, it's
just
a show. That's
they
the
just
thing.
do it for the
Yeah,
show.
Right.
A
No, I
lot of
agree.
people. I
The
mean,
show, like the ring and all that, and not so much the love factor.
yeah, and some people I feel like they do it and like it's like they've been dating for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. It's like
Well, my thing is, right, like if the ring is what
I-
matters, then just go buy yourself a fucking ring and be done with it. Because you can take your own fucking picture like this of whatever ring you buy. So why do I got to be a part of it? You
don't
know?
need no man. I
Right,
said
exactly.
yes.
Right, yeah.
I
Be
said
like,
yes
look at
to
this
my
fucking
own
baller
ring.
bitch, you know? So
I went to the jewelry store and I said yes.
right, yeah. So I don't know. Like, I guess I get, if it's like actual love and you want to show the love, then show the love factor.
Mhm.
I guess is
And
what I would do.
I'm like not
But
against.
I don't
it.
know. Like I said, it's not.
I'm
for
not
everybody.
against being engaged at all. I'm not
Right.
against people getting engaged. I love seeing like, especially like I like it, but I like it more like about it's like. I see a lot of posts and I'm like, these people literally just started dating 3 months ago. Now they're engaged.
Mhm.
What the fuck? You know,
Yeah.
like my
What-
friends and family
yeah.
who have gotten engaged recently or even in the last however many years, it's like, okay, well, they were together for years.
Well,
You know, they
I have
like,
a theory about that.
yes, what is it?
Well, I've always, and whatever. This is my opinion. Whatever I do with it. So my theory behind that is that the whole process of the engagement is an agenda. So like
Mhm.
it's to get like people have agendas and they don't care about love. They just have the agenda.
Yeah.
So that's where it kind
Like,
of.
I want to be engaged and married before I'm 30.
I want to
type
get
thing.
engaged. I want to have kids soon. I want to do it by here, and this has to happen all by then.
Mhm. So it
And
doesn't
I
matter
think
about the
that's-
person. It's just yeah.
Right. It's not about the person.
That is a lot
It's-
of people.
It's about the ring and
Mhm.
the process of whatever I want to happen, regardless who's involved. Is kind of what I see happening. But like I said, that's not everybody. It just, for some people, that's what it is.
and I'm not saying like.
And it's not awful to have an
I
agenda.
mean, you already know
if,
my thoughts about it. Like
Yeah.
I do would like want to get married or like want to get engaged. And
Right.
I know that you don't want to really.
Mhm. Right.
It's not something we have to talk about on the podcast.
We can.
But
whatever you want to do.
but it's like I'm not like if it's like I'm not just gonna be like I'm gonna break up with Travis because he doesn't want to get engaged.
Right. You're
Like,
not.
I love you. I want to be
Well,
with you.
and
Like
you get the rationale
It's not.
behind why I think the way I think about it.
right.
So, and I have good reasons for it. And it's not because I don't love you. So
know.
there's that. There's a lot of other reasons. So
And that's fine.
moving right along.
But it's not like a thing that's like, oh, we have this is like it has to be done.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
And that's the other thing though that I appreciate about you is that you're not agenda based. Like it's sufficient enough how I explain it and how we care about each other that our love is still that way. And you're okay with that to a point.
Right.
So I respect
I mean,
that
I
about
still
you as
kind of
well.
like want a ring and stuff. So
Yeah, well, I'll buy one. Next, The Bachelor.
overrated.
Yeah, overrated. I
Okay.
guess which one's the one that's really good? The one that I've been showing you with the fat guy.
Okay, that's 90 Day
which
Fiancé.
I haven't seen either. I've just seen the clips, and I think the clips are hilarious.
That's 90 Day Fiancé, which
Okay,
that's a
90 Day
whole
Fiancé.
nother. Like we should watch that sometime.
So Bachelor, awful.
They don't make you want to kill yourself, but it's very entertaining.
Okay.
I just don't like The Bachelor. I think it's overrated.
Well, Bachelor, Bachelorette, they're all
there's
like
so much drama. I never even watched it.
Yeah, it's like I've seen a couple episodes. I've seen what did I see? I saw The Bachelor because it had all the chicks.
Well,
right.
The Bachelorette's
So
always like
Bachelor.
one of the Bachelor. She's always been on The Bachelor, and she was the one that got rejected and all this crap. So.
Right. So then she came back for another beating.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right. Nextly, Titanic the movie.
Stop saying nextly.
It's gonna be a word. I'm gonna get a shirt that says Nextly on it. It's gonna be $20 a pop. So if anybody wants one, I'm gonna have my own words from now on. That's my rule in this podcast.
Underrated.
I don't know. I would say accurate. I don't know about underrated. I think for the time,
I think Titanic's a great fucking movie.
I mean, for 1997, okay, I'll say it's probably underrated. Like, if you're in 1997 and you're watching that movie for that year, I would say, like, everything they did was underrated.
I was just, like, so obsessed with Titanic when I was younger.
Because everyone loved Leo.
Yes.
Still
loved
does.
Leo.
And I don't blame him.
He's great.
He's
amazing.
Great. He's a great actor. But he was, like, way younger and hotter, too, so chicks really loved him then, too.
Loved
so
him. I was like, Leo
Can't
was,
blame
like,
him.
my jam back then.
Yeah.
He was, like...
That and Brad Pitt, Fight Club. They were, like, the big ones back then. I think that was
But when I was,
97.
like, 8 or 9...
I think it was maybe 99. I don't know.
Well, in 97, I would have been 9.
I'll have to Google it.
I would have been 9 years old.
I know
in
Titanic
97.
was 97, but what was Fight Club? I think Fight Club was like 99.
Maybe. Either way, I just thought it was a great movie, especially for the time. I mean, like, what if you like research like James Cameron and like
James Cameron,
the whole production, it's insane.
One of the best directors as far as technology goes. Like, he even did Avatar like years and years ago. Very great with technology. Knows how to utilize it right for a good movie. He's really good with that. That's why Titanic crushed it.
I guess I would say like the hype of the movie is accurate, but I think that it's underrated for like the actual production of it.
Yes,
and for its time.
Yes,
and like what
I'll
they
give you
did,
that, for sure.
and like you know all that stuff. So,
Kate Winslet, could have not.
But they had good chemistry. They're still really.
But no,
good
they had good chemistry in the show. I mean, she wasn't like the I don't know what you call it for girls back then. But she wasn't like the one. I'll put it that way.
I think that but that's the kind of person like you have to have in that role. You can't have some like bimbo blonde bomb. Yeah, that's true. I guess bombshell. It just wasn't that type of role. Like.
Yeah, well, they could have had. I don't know what's that one girl. I'm gonna blow it up. There's this one blonde chick or whatever from the one movie that we watched. The 10 Things I Hate About You. Was it that one?
Julia Stiles?
No, that wasn't her. I don't know, but anyhow, like it's somebody like that style though. Of
Reese
girl.
Witherspoon.
Probably Reese Witherspoon would have been a better fit.
Yeah, but she was like. I don't even know if she was like. I don't even know how old Reese Witherspoon was in 97.
Well, when was the thing? What was the thing we watched the other day? Wasn't that 97, 99?
Maybe, yeah.
With her in it. It was definitely 90s or maybe 2000.
I don't know. There's just a certain type. I think it was fitting.
Yeah. No, definitely, like I said, Titanic in itself, like even now, I think it's not underrated, overrated. It's like accurate for today's date. In 97, I think it was underrated for sure.
I think Kate Winslet was the right role. I can't believe you're saying this right now.
Sorry, Kate.
She was like very classic looking, like freaking night.
I like her as an actress. Like I liked her a lot in The Holiday. I thought she was. I thought she was a great actress.
This was set in the Titanic happened in 1912
or whatever.
1912.
12, right? My timeline.
So you have, it's like very.
My brain.
I feel like she has that like classic like vintage look. A lot
she
of
does.
People can't pull
she's
it
like
off.
homely.
Mm-hmm. Not really. She's
like
pretty.
Very, but with like white makeup on. Like she totally looks like she could have lived in like the 20s.
Well, they
like,
made her look like that.
Yeah, right. I get that. I understand. It's a movie. I understand the production part of it.
They still could have fit 2 people on the floating door.
Yeah.
All right. That's all we have.
All right. We're over. We're almost 50 minutes in.
48 minutes.
I can't see. I got this damn weight in my
48
face.
minutes.
Oh, it is. My eyes are all jacked from work. I've been looking at the computer too long.
Yeah.
All right. But thank you guys for listening. Any good ideas for underrated, overrated? Any good topics? Let us know. We did pick a logo. So we went with the Trav and Rest podcast, the first one with no microphone on it, just the pink bars.
The pink bars, yep.
Trying to get it done, like I said, just for us. So
yeah, that's the one we liked the best, and not like a whole lot of people voted anyway.
Yeah, we had 4 and 4.
Even,
honestly, for voting, we had 4 on the white emblem with like the side bars on it, and then we had 4 for the one that we picked. So we were trying to be fair, but also we liked that one as well. So we just
we wanted to put it on T-shirts, and I think that one's going to translate the best.
Yeah.
The other one with like the gradient background, like
Yeah.
the ombre, isn't gonna look good
Right.
on
It
a
wouldn't
t-shirt.
have, unless you had a white shirt. It would have went all right, but
Yeah.
the white with the black.
Mhm.
But you'd have to go to straight white shirt.
Right.
So yeah. So we
Anyway,
thought about
any
it.
suggestions? Let us know. Thanks
Yeah.
for listening.
Thanks for listening
Thanks
again.
for watching.
Oh, and I forgot one plug here. I do have a special guest coming up Tuesday. So I'll have a special guest here to interview on Tuesday. That's a local person that a lot of people will know. And also, I'll probably be able to post it by like Thursday if I can get my editing and stuff done. So just be on the lookout for that next week. In the middle of the week, I'll have a little surprise for you guys. So thanks for listening again. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.